inexplicable unless it had done something to the tectonic fault. This is Los Angeles, the city I now live in, and I've noticed that there's a suspicious lack of tectonic activity in LA ever since I got there. I'm waiting for the big one. So my theory is that maybe LA is an anti-Taipei 101. It's so heavy that there can't be any earthquakes there anymore. And that the more people who move to Los Angeles, like myself, and anybody who wants to go there, the more we'll be safe from future tectonic activity. This is a scene from A View to a Kill, a James Bond film, where an albino, played by Christopher Walken, plots the flooding of San Francisco by taking people up into a blimp, showing them a map of the city, and plotting the demolition of a bomb in the San Andreas Fault that will then flood Silicon Valley. So he weaponizes plate tectonics and turns the surface of the Earth into a kind of military apparatus. This is from a geological history of the War on Terror, and it's meant to explain, well, this is really just meant to explain the layout of bin Laden's mountain tunnel complex for some of the month. But what's interesting is that the reason why the Taliban and Al-Qaeda, etc., have a network of caves in Afghanistan is because it's an ancient seafloor that's been risen up through India colliding with the Asian landmass, bringing limestone up into the surface and being eroded by rainwater. So you're looking at plate tectonics becoming part of national security. There's a couple of these images, so that's why I'm talking over it. These are underground shots by Michael Cook, who is a photographer based in Toronto, and he goes draining, basically, which means going down into the infrastructure of cities, mostly Canadian, and taking these, in my opinion, stunning photographs of underground spaces and networks of spaces. And I've interviewed him for BLDGblog. That should go up in about a month. And he's actually a really, really sharp kid with like a lot of really interesting thoughts about archaeology. Are they taking pictures of the right things? Is it all fun and games? What is it? And then this is an idea that would be really awesome. In 1,000 years, if anthropologists discovered that all of these tunnels are accidentally laid out with the summer solstice or with the winter equinox, or however that is. And one day, they all realize that the sun rises perfectly and reflects through the tunnels underneath all the cities of Europe, for instance, and suddenly a golden light comes emitting from all the drains of Paris. But it only happens in 1,000 years. However, the funny thing is that actually we do live surrounded by these kind of accidental weird structures. And so this is a topological diagram of a freeway interchange outside Baltimore. And it's apparently so topologically complex that a mathematical kind of a lobbyist group wants to preserve it as an example of topology, and, which I just find totally fascinating. So you're driving a knot diagram. You can teach mathematics through performance. This is a very confusing map produced by The Guardian, where you see London on the coast of Portugal, Helsinki is in the middle of fucking nowhere, Paris is in Spain, Berlin is in North Africa. The reason why is because this is what those cities' climates will be like in 2071. So Berlin will be like a North African city in 2071. London will be like a city on the coast of Portugal, etc., which I find awesome. Not to promote global warming, obviously. These are the northern lights. The reason why these are here is because I think it'd be interesting in the idea of these migrating cities and structures and climates. I think it'd be cool to build a kind of a coliseum of ring magnets that would attract the northern lights to a city like Rome or London. And every time you go out, you hit a fucking button, the stadium turns on, and the northern lights accumulate over the city, and you can watch the northern lights every Rome. And then this is a photo by Ilkka Halso, who's a Finnish artist. It's photoshopped, but the idea is that in the future, nature is destroyed, and we'll have to preserve it in a museum, so it's a museum of nature. And I will talk more about it, but these are photographs by David Maisel, who's a Sausalito-based aerial photographer, who is a total genius in my opinion. And his photographs, what you're looking at, looks like a sort of a photomicrograph, but these are actually shots of like evaporation ponds and other landscape industries near the Great Salt Lake. So it's the becoming unearthly of the Earth that he seems to document, and I just find totally amazing. It's this post-terrestrial Earth. This is just an image I like. My wife hates it. It's a house on the back of a mouse. It speaks for itself. It's by Jeff Shearcroft from the Agents of Change, which is a London-based architecture firm whose work I like. And that's about it. I love the idea that you can clone architectural structures and possibly even use these in future buildings. You can clone a bolt on the back of a mouse and stick it in your house. This is, in my opinion, the landscape photographer of the future. The same way that we read about Ansel Adams today, or we read about the battlefield photographs of the Civil War. Someday kids are going to be learning about the Mars rovers, and they're going to be learning about these things the way we encounter romanticism or Caspar David Friedrich painting, or et cetera, et cetera. And these are the new landscapes of line, and for me at least. And there's these extraordinary images of there's a level of self-reflection that's almost Asherian in its kind of intensity. You see the tracks that led the rover in its artificially intelligent way. It's not artificially intelligent, whatever. And these landscape forms blow me away, and that's the end of my contribution. So, thanks.